Hi, welcome back. I'm Mr. Burke, and this is my Introduction to Latin series. Today, we're going to be talking about the verb sum esse fui. Sum esse fui means to be. And if you've studied other languages, you might know that the verb to be is often irregular. Consider English. Most verbs hardly conjugate at all. I carry, you carry, he carries. But the verb to be conjugates wildly. I am, you are, he is. So in Latin, the verb to be doesn't quite follow our normal patterns. It goes like this. Sum, I am. Es, you are. Est, he, she, it is. Sumus, we are. Estis, y'all are. Sunt, they are. This is again a chant. Chanting is going to become an important thing in Latin. Sum es est, sumus estis sunt. This chant is so common in Latin classes that it's become almost a joke. I found this online comic where a serial killer can't find their victim, so they shout out, sum es est, and the victim can't help but respond, sumus estis sunt. Despite being weird and irregular, there are patterns we can see here. Remember our verb ending pattern, ost mus tis unt. I know there's no o, but other than that, the endings actually kind of line up, as shown on this chart. Now, the thing my students usually find difficult about sum isn't the chart. The thing students get tripped up on is that sum does not take a direct object. Let's use the third person singular specifically to illustrate this point. Est. If I say, the girl is a farmer, I will say, puella est agricula. I will not say, puella est agriculam. That's because agricula, even though it's not the subject, is renaming the subject. You could think of the est as a sort of equal sign, equating the puella with the agricola, and so they have to be the same case. Similarly, if I want to say the son is a master, that would be filius est dominus. Notice that filius is nominative, but so is dominus, because again, we think of est like an equal sign. Or the men are poets. Viri sunt poetae. Again, the sunt acts as an equal sign, equating the viri with the poetae. So poetae will be nominative, even if it's not the subject. This is actually technically a new use of the nominative, one that will be used in the higher levels of Latin. I'll explain the term in this video, but we won't be relying on this terminology for a while. The term is predicate nominative. Let's break down what that means. Predicate means the latter half of a sentence. Anything that is not the subject is considered the predicate. So if I say, the farmer loves the girl, the farmer is the subject, and loves the girl is the predicate. If I say, the poets tell a story to the farmers, the poets is the subject, and tell a story to the farmers is the predicate. A predicate nominative is a nominative noun that occurs in the predicate of a sentence. So, the girl is a farmer. Farmer is going to be expressed with the nominative case, even though it's in the predicate, is a farmer. Puella est agricula. So now we have two uses of the nominative case. Remember, we already knew the nominative case could express the subject of a sentence. Now we know it can also express a predicate nominative. So in puella est agricula, puella is your nominative subject, and agricula is your predicate nominative. Now I think the term predicate nominative is an important one, but even more important than that term is just the realization that sum esse fui does not take a direct object. You will not see an accusative used with sum esse fui. This even applies when there's no nominative subject, like sum agricula, I am a farmer. Agricula is the nominative because it's being linked with the implied subject, I. There's one more thing I want to talk about, and that is you don't always need both a subject and predicate nominative, even with third person. If I say est agricula, it means a farmer is, as in a farmer exists. Often this will be more naturally translated, there is a farmer. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we learned about how to conjugate the verb sum, and we learned that sum does not take a direct object. That's because instead it acts as an equal sign, linking the subject to a predicate nominative. Until next time, Wale.